We are at the Lucky Strike property. This right here is called the camp showing. As you can see, we've done a lot of exposing by hand over the years. And what we want to do is, we noticed a whole area over here and some areas over here that have had the soils over top sloughed down. We're going to expose it a little bit better. And we're going to pull samples from all the bedrock exposed along here, and we're going to get a sample over the entire exposed bedrock, as well as take some small chip samples or small grab samples. Here's a few initial samples I just broke off. This is typical bedrock. Got your gray silicous unit hosting disseminated stringer, semi-massive and massive sulphides, pyrite, pyrite, chalcopyrite, but mostly you have galena and sphalerite. So let's get to sampling. So what we're going to do is sample this area here first. So what we'll do is we'll chip all these off. We're going to take a chip every 10 to 20 centimeters along here, and then we'll gather all the samples and show them all at the end. You can see mineralization in the fractures of the rock is mostly pyrite and pyrite. Here's a fresh piece I just pulled from underneath there. Sphalerite and pyrite. Disseminated. Another piece here. Some nice galena and sphalerite in this piece.
Look at that, like that. There's some nice like kind of colors on it.
Sampling from over here now. There's not a lot of bedrock exposed because a lot of this is sloughed down, so we're just going to dig it off. You have a mineralized quartz vein right there that's very, very deteriorated. Some samples we've pulled from over there. A little less mineralization in the way of galena and sphalerite. More pyrite and pyrite. It's all rusty and deteriorated rock other than some quartz at surface. Here's the samples we pulled out so far. As you can see, a lot of the sulphides have weathered out. More samples from the quartz vein. As you can see, there's iron sulphides. Another area we exposed is at the base of the road here, where you have bedrock, and there's stringers cutting through. This is a gray quartz, and I can see sphalerite and galena and a lot of pyrite. So we're going to break a few samples off of this little area here. The last area we're going to sample is underneath this bank here on the bottom side of the road. There's up to 2,000 kilogram boulders that were placed there when they built this road, ripped out. So we're going to sample those because there's some massive sulphides on those as well, and as well as anything else that we can find down below the bank that's sticking out. Here is the first bedrock set of samples. We've broken these all into smaller pieces. We did a chip sample across 6 meters. And that is essentially all this bedrock that's exposed along here up to the telephone pole. As you can see, varying amounts of sulphides. Some have massive sulphides. Some have little mineralization. Some have little stringers like this. So this is going to be our first sample over 6 meters. This is the second area sample. Chip sample over 2 meters. Mostly disseminated pyrite, chalcopyrite, but you do have small little stringers with sphalerite, a bit of galena. And that is from the area over here. Third sample is the quartz vein sample. This is a chip over a 1 meter wide area. Varying amounts of sulphides. There is pyrite, chalcopyrite, galena, and sphalerite. But a lot of this is weathered out. That third sample is over here from the quartz vein and surrounding area. And this is sample number 4. You have disseminated sphalerite, pyrite, pyrrhotite, and stringers of sphalerite up to about 2 millimeters in size. And this is just from the small bedrock exposure beside the road, which is along here. And we have the last set of samples, and these are from big boulders up to 2,000 kilograms that we hammered below the road. And as you can see, a lot of these are just massive sulphides. And we have a bonus sample right here, which was taken out right in there. It's not off bedrock, but it was dug out of the bank, and it is a very nice one. As you can see, a big hunk of a vein. We don't know where this is from, but we pulled it out of the bank right there. And as you can see, it is also massive sulphides. It's very, very heavy. So those are the samples we're taking from here. Eventually, these will get assayed. Probably send them out to the lab within the next couple weeks. And we'll see what we get. Justin number 2 is off on the side of the exposed showing here. He's digging into the bank and pulling out some samples. So we're going to hammer some of these open as well, and we'll include them when we send these out. Reportedly, this zone is 75 meters wide and can actually trace it in the road down there all the way to where it juts out right there. You see oxidation of the rocks in the road. You see mineralized quartz. Let's hammer a few of these open. So some bank float from in here. This used to be exposed, but over the last 20-30 years this is all overgrown, so you can't get to the other part of the zone. But these were taken from the bank, and as you can see, there's mineralization, pyrite, a little bit of sphalerite, and you have some massive sulphides in this one here. So we have lots of samples to work with, and it'll be exciting to get some of the assay results back when we send these out. This area definitely needs to be trenched, because what it looks like is a lot of the mineralization is exposed a little bit deeper. Looks like the power pole is cutting through something, and the deeper you dig down in all this overburden, the better samples you get. We decided to hammer a few more, and as you can see, some very nice massive sulphides. And that's the end of the sampling at the camp showing. Take care, everyone.